If you want to make an apple pie from scratch, first you have to create the universe. Thanks, Pat, for our opening line today. Welcome back to another episode of Hangin with Hodge. So Pat had watched the video to the end, our last video to the end, and knew, one, that we were making an apple pie mead today, and also knew that if you dropped a comment below, a family-friendly comment below, and it got the most likes, I'd open up the video with that one. We're going to do the same thing with the next video. So first though, before we get started, take a minute, go ahead and smash that like button, and go ahead and click the subscribe button, and the bell notification icon will let you know when I make a new video. So without further ado, let's go make some mead. Okay, welcome to Hangin with Hodge. Again, we are making apple pie mead today. So what are we going to need for it? Well, obviously we're going to need apple juice. So I have got 5 gallons of the Kirkland, not from concentrate apple juice, it's 100% apple juice. I have got 20 pounds of honey that we'll be using. I don't know if we'll use the entire 20 pounds. We're going to base that upon our gravity readings that we get using our hydrometer. You will also need cinnamon sticks and cloves. Now, when making this, we use 1 cinnamon stick and 1 clove per gallon of apple juice that we use. So with that, I have actually already warmed up the honey. Take a minute when you're making this, warm up your honey. I just throw it into my sink with hot water. I've already done that. I'm going to go ahead and start loading that up into our bucket here. So we've got our bucket, our brew bucket that we'll be using. We've got our yeast, so we're going to be using the EC1118 yeast from Lalvin. That's really a workhorse of a yeast, and I really like it. I've gotten good results from it, and especially from a beginner standpoint, it works really well. One of the things I forgot to mention in the last video of things that you're going to need is something to stir it with. In the past, I've used a long wooden handle. Now I've just picked up a stirring wand here from over at Bell's Brewery, good folks over there. I got to talk to them. And the other thing that I forgot to mention, you're going to need notepad and pen. You need to keep track of the dates and the amounts that you're using in everything. And one other thing, so when sanitizing, we talked about the sanitizer, using a bucket to sanitize everything in. I also have a spray bottle that I use. I fill it up with the sanitation water, the Star San water, and then I spray everything down before I start working with anything. So let's get started. As we put in the apple juice, I'm going to let it chug in there. One of the things that I want is to get as much air in there as possible when we're going into primary. So as we're doing this, just let it actually chug out from there to get as much in there as possible. There we go. We get all 5 of these in there. And yes, I like Kirkland brand stuff. I can buy lots of it there in bulk, especially when I'm making 5-gallon batches. So the apple pie has turned into our favorite mead. So I'm actually making this one for my wife because she wants more of it. Happy spouse, happy house. The happiness does go both ways. Used to hear it said, happy wife, happy life. And that's true. But you know what? It goes both ways. So happy spouse, happy house. There we go. Number 5. right in there. So now we've got a good froth in there as well. Okay. I've already started rehydrating my yeast. I started that up right before I started the video here. So that's about ready to be pitched in once we're ready here. And I'm going to go ahead and pitch in. As I said, we've got 5 gallons, so I'm going to use 5 cloves, or 5 cinnamon sticks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of the things I didn't realize, I was watching City Steady, Brian and Derica, and they were talking about, they were making a different type of mead there, but they were using cinnamon and cloves as well. And they were saying that this can actually counteract some of the yeast. So this is actually good that I'm using an EC1118 because this will help. This is, as I said, a very strong workhorse of a yeast, so that'll work really well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cloves are very strong. They're very strong in flavor and in taste. They're very potent. So you want to make sure that you, as you're doing it and working with it, you don't put too much in because it can become overpowering. So at this point here, we're going to take our initial gravity reading. So this is before we add any honey, just to see where we are. Right, and our handy dandy hydrometer. Stick that in here and give it a swirl. So as you take the hydrometer reading, make sure that you give it a little bit of a swirl, knock any air bubbles off that get in there as you're going in. Actually, I need a little bit more in here just so I can see where we are. All right then. And this is at 1.050. I want to have some sweetness left over, so we're going to bring it up to 1.35, 1.40, so that when we get ready to bottle it, there'll still be some sweetness left over afterwards. We're not going to bring it straight down to dry, but we're going to kill off the yeast. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and add in our honey. And I'm going to use this, I'm going to stir it as it's going in. I don't want it just clumping down at the bottom. Well, the honey smells really good. One more here. So these are 5-pound bottles from Costco. I don't have access to local honey right now. It's March. Sorry, it's April. So I just went over to Costco and got honey over there, which has always worked perfectly fine for me. I know some people swear you have to use local honey. No, I use this all the time. Works well. Make mead your way. All right, so we've put in 3 of those, so 15 pounds of honey so far. Let's see what our reading is at now. And we'll take our hydrometer, drop it in here, give it a spin. And we are at 1.38. I'm sorry, 1.28. I'm going to add just a little bit more honey in there. We'll just dump this one here back in. I'm going to add some left over from a previous time. We're going to use that up here. As I said, I usually bring this up to about 1.38 to 1.40 for the initial gravity reading. And if you're wondering how to do that and do your readings, check out my video on how to calculate the ABV of your mead. All right, and we will take another reading. Yep, and that is at 1.35, 1.37. I'm going to go with that. That'll be good. I'm also running out of room in the bucket. So we will go with that. Now at this point here, we're going to go ahead and pitch in. We've got our yeast nutrients. Now one of the things I want to get, and I saw on another video, they were using, instead of diammonium phosphate, for a nutrient, they are using yeast hulls, which is a more natural way to go. And I think that's what I want to do. So with the next videos, I'm going to switch over to yeast hulls if I can find them. I'm going to check over with Bell's, see if they have yeast hulls there. Hey guys at Bell's, do you have yeast hulls there? Let me know. Or if you know where I can get yeast hulls, drop a link in the description below. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and pitch our yeast. There we go. Give it a stir here. Okay. Put this over here. Now we'll go ahead and take our lid. Now remember, where you put the hole, you want it on the opposite side of where your handle goes so that it doesn't interfere with your airlock. We'll take our airlock. So this has got star sand in it. We're going to put a little bit more star sand in here. Actually, you know what? I can do it straight from. Lid off there. A bottle here. I can just fill it right up from here. I just want to go to where it says max. You don't have too much in it. Enough to stop bad things from getting in. You can also use vodka as well. Go ahead and set that in here. We don't want to go down too far. We don't actually want to sink the airlock into the liquid itself because we want the air to be able to escape from there. And final step. Got to write it down. So our OG, or original gravity, is 1.135. So we're starting off. We've got our date in there. We've got apple pie mead. We've got what we put in there. So we've got it all recorded. Since we're here, as we come back and we do further testings and gravity readings, we'll know what it is and where it is, so we know when it's actually finished. We'll start with this here. It's going to sit like this here for about, I usually run it about 30 days like this here, to be honest. The longer you let it go, the better. And then I will move it into my secondary fermentation, where it will sit for about another 30 days. And at that point there, as I'm taking constant readings, when I say constant, about every week or so, to see what the gravity reading is of it, so that I know that when it stops, when it does not change anymore, I know that it's done at that point. Hey everybody, thanks for coming out and hanging with Hodge today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do us a favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to click the subscribe and the bell icon so you get notified when we come out with future videos. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you try out the recipe. Let me know what you think. Our next video is going to be an orange pineapple banana mead. So if you want to go ahead and leave a comment below in regards to how we should open up my next video, just keep it PG-13, the one with the highest likes on it. We'll go ahead and use that one there. In the meantime, if you need it, I've got a link over here for the equipment that you would need to start brewing. And if you also need it, there'll be a video up here of, I have no idea what YouTube is going to put up there actually. It's all based on their algorithms. And then over here we'll have the button that you can click on. It's a picture of Buddy and me to subscribe to our channel. So until next time, cheers, have a great day.